Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. There are many ways of coming into the realization of Vedanta. I'm talking of realization because now today's verses are so powerful, so direct. It just reminds me of that Ashtavakra Samhita. How do you come to the realization of Vedanta? See, you can do inquiry, your intellect and mind, with a very steady intellect and mind, you will come to a abhas, definitely. If we are ripe enough, we will actually come to the experience. See, even the word experience is not sufficient in Vedanta. Because you experience an object, isn't it? Is the self an object? No. So we exactly can't use the word experience. You just come to the knowledge of the truth about the I, the import of the I. It will flash in the mind naturally if we are ripe enough. A very good ambience around us, very positive surroundings, and that kind of where Vedanta Charcha, Brahma Jnana is discussed. There you have a very charged atmosphere always. Have you seen this? Go into a temple and feel the vibration, and go into a theater and feel the vibration. You'll understand what I'm saying. Where there is extreme positivity and it is surcharged with something very high. Those thought vibrations are lingering there. See, thoughts are things. Don't think thinking is somewhere happening in the air. If you are able to catch those vibrations in very positive places, you go to Kashi, Varanasi, Vrindavan, you'll actually get hit by those vibrations. So these powerful places, Himalayas also is like that. If you are able to still your mind here, you will come to the same truth. Inquiry will bring you into the truth. Meditation will bring you into the truth. Stillness will bring you into the truth. Any deep experience of life will point out to the existence of the scintillating I sense. When your sense of persona drops, you will feel this I sense within you. So this is what now they are going to talk about. See, we have two eyes working in us. Thakur used to call them Kachami and Pakami, isn't it? The Kachami is the ego sense, which if you analyze has no real existence. It's an assumption. But most people live under its weight, They give it a sense of reality. So it pertains to your persona, your body-mind complex. I am such and such. Because it has no real existence, it is not continuous ever in your experience. But check and see this, your self-awareness is ever a continuum. Do you feel it? You are always aware. Only when you are always aware, you can become this and that. You can play any role in the world. But your awareness is so primary, which means there is an unchanging I sense in you, which is the scintillation of awareness. Nothing else. And the magic, miraculous thing is, all of us have the same sense. All of us feel the same sense all the time. We don't pay attention to it because mind is not trained. Mind is busy with objects and with your sense of persona, with the ego. So it is not trained to look for that pure I. But that is the only thing that is permanent about us and in our first person experience all the time. Even in Sushupti, even in coma, even under anesthesia. Remember all these states, you are there to detect nothingness. I suppose I tell you, describe Sushupti, deep sleep for me. Oh, I did not know anything, nothing happened in that state. I just slept peacefully, happily. Who knew this? So you were there. This is the fact of your experience. You as awareness persist always. If there is a reflector to that awareness, you can objectify it and point out to it like mind, like some thoughts. But if there's absolutely no reflector, as in deep sleep, then you get confused. Only a blankness prevailed. But who knew the blankness prevailed? So obviously you as awareness ever persist. That's the only continuum running through our entire experience, all through life, from birth till death and even beyond. But we don't sort of pay attention to this. See, this is the Maya of human life. We are preoccupied with the identified ego, but not with our sense of awareness. That is why all these scriptures will say, you are always and already Brahman. Don't make the mistake of trying to trying to adopt a method to discover Brahman. You are not going to attain or acquire it. You are only going to recognize it. This is the glory of Vedanta, the only scripture which points directly to truth, so that we recognize what is already there. Yes? And so that we don't look in the wrong place. We don't look in the wrong place. You know that famous story, of a person who was searching for a key under a street light. And his friend came along and said, "Oh, you lost something?" "Yes, I lost my key." "So you lost it here under this lamp?" And he said, No, I lost it at home." "Then why are you searching here?" "There's no light in my home, so I'm searching here." See, we are searching for happiness, awareness, all this in objects, because there's no light at home. What it means to say is, the inside is dark. We never tried meditation, inquiry, Vedanta. We never tried. So if I close my eyes, some dark sense comes to me, feeling comes to me. So I'm always searching for happiness in the outer world. However foolish this story may be, we are doing the same thing. That's why, we are called Bala in the Upanishads. They will address us as Bala, which means like children, searching for something precious in the wrong place. And all the time we are doing this. See, we require gadgets to keep us alive and aware and happy. How silly. When you don't tap into your own awareness, you will try to engage only with all this. So sort of synthetic joy. Superimposing the essence of your being on something else and giving it the credit to keep you happy. See, all these perverted ways of the mind come only when there is no spiritual life, spiritual practice. If that is not there, no clarity will prevail. Thakur says in the Gospel, I hope you read the Gospel every day. Please read the Gospel every day. It will condition your mind in such a way, in a few years you will become a jnani. You will radiate knowledge, because that book is like that. It's the pure truth. From the highest point of God consciousness, the avatar is giving out the pure truth. So there Thakur says that, a person who is only attached to desires is always confused. When we don't look within, the mind will not function as it should. So to bring clarity to human life and the human mind, spiritual practice is required. That's why I said every day keep in touch with Vedanta. It is like Ganga Snan, I am telling you. Ganga Snan, what we associate Ganga Snan with, you will get that experience with Vedanta. And if there's no Vedanta, it's like you never took Snan. You never bathed. How would it feel? The mind will feel like that. It'll stink of nonsense. So take care of this. Dip into this every day. And a vibrant spiritual life will ensure you remain aware from within. Then you see all these verses will hit you. I told you, if you are vitally alive, you will be deeply aware. That's a great equation in spiritual life. Keep up your vitality. Don't compromise it on silly things in life. That's the function of your Pran Shakti. Please know, Shakti is meant for Shiva. Shakta philosophy tells us this, isn't it? Her only aim is to go and unite with Shiva. Energy is meant for the revelation of consciousness. Don't compromise it on silly things in your life. All sorts of entertainment just to keep me, going. This is a very sick state of mind. See, now you see this verse, how stunning it is. The 9th one I'm going into. Sakshi sarvan vitaha preyanaham naham kadachana parinama paricheda paritapaihi upaplavat. I am the witness, all pervading and beloved, never the limited I, afflicted as it is with change, limitation and suffering. See, these are the characteristics of the limited I. It is deeply afflicted, limited and suffering. So, when something is suffering, it will try to gather more and more things around itself just to boost its sense of identity. Have you seen? Yes. See, a child which is deprived of love in childhood will really become very possessive of the family it will make. This is the nature of the human mind. If one has grown in poverty, then definitely after some time, the mind will that will be the top priority, to get money. That is the nature of the mind. Whatever it is deprived of, then it turns towards that in a big way. So our minds, if they function only in a limited, see the sense of I, the small I, the undeveloped I, if it sees only affliction and limitation, it's going to ache all through life. And then there will be a proliferation of desires, because some kind of satisfaction it wants. And you will think that is the aim of human life. So that is why as early as this process can be started, it is good. I told you, give your children this great asset. Give them spiritual values, spiritual knowledge, love for spirituality, love for these texts. In South Indian homes, I have seen this. Every day morning, after their ablutions, they will start Vishnu Sahasranam or Lalita Sahasranam. Something of this sort should keep falling on the ears, and a positive vibration automatically is created. Make it compulsory in your homes. I told you, the first hour of every morning. See, to those IIT students, I say the first 15 minutes, because they are always in a hurry. They have no time. But to y'all, I can always say the first 1 hour, first hour of the morning, only to spiritual practice. Do your meditation, do your yoga, read the scripture and listen to Lalita Sahasranam, Vishnu Sahasranam. Let divine things go into the mind. Don't go to your Facebook account and breaking news and all that. So, the realization of this will only come when the small I is recognized for what it is. This is what he is saying. I am the witness, all pervading and most beloved, and never the limited I. So you see, I, as I told you, two I's functioning in us. One is the ego, one is the self. Now this ego sense within us, how do we get rid of it? That will be the next question. It is afflicted, it is negative in nature, and it keeps us busy with silly things. How do we get rid of it? So there are two ways to get rid of it. One is karma yoga. Keep doing service activities. The silly ego will go. And second thing is, you must inquire into its real nature. This is the way of the jnani. Inquire into its real nature, it will poof, it will vanish. It's not there. If something was really there, you could tackle it. If something is not there but appears to be there, then you just have to inquire and it will vanish. Sri Ramakrishna would give this example also in the gospel. That, see, the calf example he gives. It keeps saying hamba, 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 and goes through so many problems in life. So learn to say tuhu, he used to say. You, oh Lord, you, not me. So this sense of small ego in us has to be somehow obliterated for real sadhana to take place. Even Vedantic inquiry will not happen as it should if there is a strong sense of ego. If there is deep inner deprivation, there will be a strong sense of ego. So fill your life with godly things. Cultivate devotion, cultivate service activities. Go to the scripture constantly and get rid of the small I. Because its nature is, affliction, negativity, all this. It's a huge torment to human life. Yes? The egoistic life itself is a huge torment. But my own real nature is, I am the witness consciousness. See, by witness consciousness, what do you understand? Many people understand that I am seeing all that is happening. This is only the first step. Yes, you as awareness are the witness of this phenomena around us. No doubt. But this, what we are calling witness consciousness, that alone is appearing as that phenomena. Consciousness appears as its own object. Why? Why should it do that? Because after all, it's an appearance. It reflects off the suggestion of Brahman outside and appears as that object. See, for the potter, no matter what he makes out of clay, it's only clay. But to you, it is a pot and a ladle and a jar and a spoon and all that. For him, it's only clay. For the goldsmith, the different ornaments are only gold. To you, they are earring and necklace and whatever. So, this jnana drishti means the clay drishti, the gold drishti. Only one consciousness is manifesting as so many things. And we are getting deluded by the manifestation because we are not living at the source. This is the only problem. Drishti jnanamayam kritva pashet brahmamayam jagat. I must change my perception. Now further on he will point out what gives us this wrong perception also. Let's go into that. This is where there's a very good analysis of how exactly we perceive something. See, you go into the 10th verse. Supte ahami na drishyante dukkha dosha pravrittayah atastasyaiva samsaro name samsatra sakshinah. When the eye is sound asleep, sorrowful and defective appearances are not seen. Hence, samsara belongs to it, not to me who am the witness of samsara. See, what he means to say is, in deep sleep, there is no samsara. Isn't it? In a restless mind, there is samsara. In a calm mind, there is samsara. You are not deep sleeping, not asleep. You are just with a calm mind. Is there a samsara? Just a recognition of something apart from me. But there is no real agitation. Right? So this is what he's saying. Your perception of reality will depend upon your state of mind. Once we understand this, we will see that whatever we are perceiving, and even emotionally, to a great extent we are creating. See, this is the stunning truth of Vedanta. You are literally creating the circumstances and events of your life by the power of your imagination, thought, emotion. However hard this may be to digest, we are doing this. And even just physical perception also is self-created. That we already discussed this, isn't it? See, physics also will tell you this. Now I'm seeing that tree. Actually, what is happening is there is rejected light from that tree, electromagnetic radiation entering my eye. The actual color of that tree is what that tree has absorbed. That electromagnetic radiation which it has absorbed, but I will never be able to see that. I only see the light it rejected towards me. And that light, what happened to it? It entered my eye. And an inverted image was created on the retina. Then it was by the optic nerve, it was transmitted to the brain. through the thalamus, which acts like a filter. And there this image was corrected and made like this. The inversion is gone now. But the only thing which scientists have found at the moment of perception is my neurochemistry and the electromagnetic radiation got mixed up somehow and created this three-dimensional reality of something. So what you're calling reality is a reconstruction of your brain, right? It's a reconstruction of your brain. You are never perceiving matter. You are never perceiving the thing as it is. When we say, oh, I see matter around me, it's a hypothesis. It is not the truth. You know what is a hypothesis, isn't it? Before you come to the conclusion of a truth, you are positing a hypothesis. So now see, I'm saying I see a green tree. It's a hypothesis. There is no green tree there. There is only a suggestion of something which my brain interprets as a green tree. It's not at all green, by the way. Right? Electromagnetic radiation appears as color to the brain. And I told you, a cat here will say it's a grey tree if it could speak. So is it green or grey? Everything about that tree is like that. The characteristics of that tree entirely is as much of reality as my brain could reconstruct. That is my perception of what is out there. So you see, reality is never out there. It is always in here. And I make it up. However difficult this may be to digest, this is, even physical perception is like this. And not to speak of the way we perceive people. How do we see them? As minds, as emotional entities. Your own emotion has been superimposed there. Yes, if you want to see a person just like as he or she really is, you must empty mind. That's why you see saints see God everywhere. The over-emotional see emotional beings everywhere. The over-intellectual see intellectual beings everywhere. And the gross perceiving ones see only gross perceptions everywhere. I see because I construct reality according to the sanskars in my brain. And that is why you see all these laws which we have given. What you repeatedly think you will become, all this is very true. The kind of thoughts we encourage in our mind will create the circumstances in our life. Our perceptions are entirely self-made, self-created. So you see, this world spread out in front of us, there are three main theories. In all philosophies, if you see, they will subscribe to either of these three theories. What is the explanation to this world spread out before us? The first explanation is what is called Srishti Te Drishti, which means because Srishti is already there, I am seeing it. This is the view accepted by science also, because they believe in Pratyaksha Praman. Reality is already there, so I am seeing what I am seeing. And many philosophies actually will tell you this. It is already out there. Now the second, but there are huge debates about this even in physics, amongst physicists, because it is very clear that what is out there is a reconstruction of my brain. So neuroscience and physics are always debating about this, that can this be the truth? Last year's Nobel Prize for Physics was given to 3 scientists who believed the universe is unreal. Their theory was that what I am seeing is not what is out there. So Srishti Drishti Vad is under serious debate. Now the second philosophical view, which again many philosophies, both Eastern and Western, subscribe to, is called Drishti Srishti Vad. Drishti Srishti, which means due to my Drishti, Srishti is happening. Vedant. And there are also Western philosophies which subscribe to this, which say that really reality is a complete reconstruction of the brain and there is no outer reality there. There's a suggestion upon which the brain cooks up. So it's called solipsism also in the West. It's a philosophy which says there's no reality apart from what you construct. But it is not accepted by all. I told you it's anathema to the West. Many people don't accept it. It's easy to think, oh, reality is out there and so I'm seeing it, isn't it? We take the easy road. If you think deeply and see, then only all these things come into mind. And the third, you can say, view is that what is called Ekajivavad, which means there is only consciousness manifesting as. It's a manifestation, world of manifestation, not creation. There's a world of difference between the two. Not that the world has been created and so I'm seeing it. It is a manifestation of Brahman. So I'm seeing what my equipment, what I'm laden with that equipment, as much as I can see, I'm seeing. Ekajivavad means only one consciousness is there, appearing as many. See, if you check and see, all of us, when we say I, point to the heart, and we are referring to the same consciousness. So isn't there one consciousness in all beings? Appearing in different bodies and minds, reflecting in different bodies and minds. This is what they are saying. So this Ekajivavad, all this kind of philosophy leads to Ajatavad, which means there has been no creation. Actually speaking. See, don't think these are abstruse philosophies. As we progress in spiritual life, no, each philosophy will hit you. And then you understand the glory of Advaita also. Advaita Vedanta will tell you, consciousness is always singular. Can there be a plural? Can there be consciousnesses? There cannot be. Because the stuff of being conscious is what you are calling consciousness. It can be only one. But it can reflect in many mirrors. And so you are those reflectors. So we appear to be different. Mind and body can be different, not consciousness. So only one essence, Brahman, is reflecting in all beings. Only one God. And all mystics have proven this with their own experience. There is that Mahapurush Maharaj incident which is so beautiful. See, one of the direct disciples of Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna, was Swami Shivananda. When he was the president of the order, really he had experienced samadhi many times in his life. So, such a deep soul, always absorbed in God consciousness, he would actually see Brahman everywhere. And when people would come to do pranam to him because he was president of the order, he would do prati pranam. And when that time he was quite old, it was so difficult for him to bend, but he's bending before everyone. Then his sevaks told him one day, why are you doing this, Maharaj? You are their guru, so they are doing pranam to you. Why should you bend? Then he's saying, no, but I don't see another person. I'm seeing Brahman. I'm seeing it is Brahman only coming before me in this form. Shouldn't I bend? That is their perception. And Thakur perpetually lived in this state. They are perceiving a kind of unity everywhere, due to which they don't budge from their state of God consciousness. It's not even a state, it's the reality of existence. So, you see, what they are telling here in the scripture is something very true. Don't think it is some kind of abstruse philosophy we are discussing. It is the reality of existence. We are deluded and so we are seeing wrongly. Yes. And two shaky individuals will see only shaky things when they look at each other. Our minds are all the time agitated, so we are seeing all kinds of delusion. But the mystics always saw a unitary consciousness in all creation. So you see, this he is saying. When the eye is sound asleep, you don't see sorrowful and defective appearances. Hence, samsara belongs to it, not to me, who am the witness of samsara. Every bit of our experience has to be analyzed for this to happen. For for our intelligence to get convinced of the truth of Vedanta. Then only, it will get inspired to do the practice and realize the truth. See, here Maharaj has given a very beautiful explanation. Swami Atmarupananji, who has translated this work, it's on page 59, you see. The whole world, together with the means of perceiving the world, the sense organs, nervous pathways, brain centers and brain exist within my mind and are impossible to experience outside, casting doubt on their actual external existence. If you understand the theory of perception clearly, originally, you will sense the truth of this, what they are saying here. If you want easy explanations, you can go to the video Mind and Perception. Watch that video once. It's a IIT Delhi video, Mind and Perception. There this entire perception theory and what Yoga and Vedanta contribute to it, that has been explained. So this is the 10th verse. Now we go into the 11th verse. Supta suptim na janati, na supte swapna jagarau, jagrat swapna sushupti nam, sakshato aham ata dasha. Aham ata dasha. Not of that state, it means. The one who is asleep knows not deep sleep. For the one who sleeps not, dream and waking don't exist. Hence, I am beyond these states, the witness of waking, dream and deep sleep. See, the one who is asleep knows not deep sleep. What he is trying to say is, see, a little bit of Mandukya Upanishad knowledge we will bring in here. The point is, are you the waker, dreamer and deep sleeper, or are you the witness of the waker, dreamer and deep sleeper? This we have to find out by ourselves. Check this out and see. Think originally, okay? Let us not just rely on the text. Think this and see. Just now I'm the waker, isn't it? I'm in the waking state, Jagrat. Senses are active, mind is active, and I'm functioning as a jiva in this world, perceiving things and interpreting them and making up my own sense of reality. Now, am I this waking jiva, waker, or am I the witness of this waking state? Tell me. Check your own experience and say, are you the witness of what you are perceiving, or are you merely the perceiver? Come on. You're the witness? What's the proof you're the witness? Our very analysis of perception theory is proof. Yes? Our very analysis of perception theory is the proof that we are the witness of, we are not merely, blind perceivers. I know something and I know that I know. So who's the one who's knowing? That first knower is who? How to know the knower is the actual question. See, you may say, oh, one layer of my mind is perceiving what the other layer of the mind is doing. But it's not the mind perceiving the mind. In awareness, perception is happening. And I happen to be that awareness. Check this out and say, you don't have to believe me or believe any text. Check this out and see if this is true or not. See, if I was a robot, do you think a perception, that green tree, would I experience it as the green tree if I was a robot? Would I? I would just catch the impression because my sensors would collect information and store it in my memory and give you the information, there is a green tree out there. Yes, this is what all robots do. But it doesn't experience the green tree because it is unaware. It's not a self-aware entity. So awareness is primary to perceiving something, experiencing something. How we miss out this? I am always the witness of my perceptions because I am a self-aware entity. Now, when this is the fact, I am the witness of my perceptions. Even your three states of waking and all that you perceive in the waking state, dream and all that you perceive in the dream state. You know how many kinds of dreams we have. You are always the witness of everything. Not just this much, even in the state of deep sleep, where you claim, I didn't know anything and I slept like a log, you are also the witness of that state. Because you experienced a blankness, and who experienced the blankness? You, the awareness. Awareness ever persists. You were aware of nothing. You were not unaware. Isn't it? So it is experience of absence, not absence of experience. This is a very profound observation. You must check your own experience and come to this conclusion. That is why then I persist always as awareness. I may identify with some mind function and claim I am the thinker, I am the analyzer, I am the perceiver. I may claim, it's only a claim. The fact is I am only awareness. And perception is happening through a reconstruction of my brain. I am not perceiving something out there. I am constructing it. I am making it up. So this is how we are functioning. But we don't analyze this fully. Because of our, nobody ever told us you are pure awareness itself. We came to Vedanta so late in life and they are talking something which I don't understand. This is the experience of most people. If you start right early, I'm telling you, as early as possible, your first person experience itself will tell you the truth of this. And this is how all of us are all the time. We are only experiencing Brahman. We never experienced matter. The experience of matter, which is materialism, it's only a hypothesis. It's a very silly philosophy actually. See, your nerve endings are responsible for the sense of pressure you feel. The texture also is something like that. Every sense is just like this visual sense. It's a reconstruction by the brain. How can you claim that there is a universe out there and so I perceive it? It is always made up by us. And that's why, see, a good man will perceive a good world, a bad man is going to perceive a bad world, and a saint is going to perceive God alone and not the world at all. Yes? Makes sense, no? This is the actual perception theory. Everywhere, so much research they are doing on all this. But when you discount awareness, the primary source of perception, you won't get the complete theory. So take care of this. This is what they are saying. Jagrat Swapna Sushupti is a powerful way of analyzing the source of our perceptions and coming to that source. So where do you get this analysis? Mandukya Upanishad and Mandukya Karika, very powerful texts. And so the conclusion they come to is, I am not this waker, dreamer or deep sleeper. I am the Turiya. Something apart from this, the fourth state they call it. But actually it's not a fourth state. It is the underlying reality of the three states. But in the final analysis, it's not even the underlying reality of the three states. The Atman alone appears as the waker, dreamer and deep sleeper. Yes, that is the truth. See, when you go deep into something, you'll come across startling facts. Advaita Vedanta is like that. It will startle you. What are they saying? So you have to go deep into it. There's no other way. Yes, the planet appears so beautiful, like a blue emerald shining in the sky, shining in space. Is it blue? The ocean is blue? Sky is blue? Tree is green? If you dive deep into it, you will see none of this is true. But it appears like this. It's all a show, an appearance to give the Purusha experience so that he will go towards true knowledge. This is Vedanta. I told you, nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram hai. Knowledge liberates the mind. Nothing else. Everything else will assuage the mind. If you want a consolatory religion, it's all there. Popular religions they will play that role. If you want liberation, knowledge is the way. And liberation don't have some kind of idea of moksha. It's liberation of mind. We are all the time wanting that, trying for that. Our entire education process is meant to liberate the mind. It liberates itself, it resolves itself into its source, awareness. That is Vedanta. So then you live a full life, complete life. Partial awareness means partial life, isn't it? Meagerly filtered awareness coming out of a dense mind, a tamasic mind, means very poor quality of life. Then you need 10 gadgets to keep you happy, Yes, this is the truth. And you have to acknowledge truth to really give quality to your life. If my entire instrument of perception is tamasic, if my mind is cluttered, negative, very poor awareness will filter out of it. So I will have very poor experience of life. I'm constantly dejected and depressed. So I need so many relationships and so many gadgets to keep me engaged and happy. But if I'm fully, vitally alive and fully aware from within, and mind is crystal clear, I actually don't need anything. You'll get scared of everything and move away from it. Because you're so joyous by yourself. You don't require anything else. See, this is the freedom of human life, mukti, moksha. It comes through liberation of mind. I don't have to rely on somebody to make me happy. I can only serve because I don't actually want anything from you. So, all this is, that is why these are moksha shastras. They are actually telling you the fullness of life lies where. All these rishis, it comes even in the Isha Upanishad. They'll say, you seek to live 100 years of a completely fulfilled life lived in awareness. That is the goal of human life. See, they were not people who were running away from life. Renunciation doesn't mean running away from life. It means going deep into life and discovering the essence of life. Then you live a full life. Otherwise, you are living a sickly life, I am telling you. Where you require to party every week to keep you balanced and happy. Otherwise, you go into depression. Isn't it? All these, see, today's youngsters experimenting with all things because the mind is so agitated, no touch of this. So they are trying to explore all aspects of life. The sense of that demarcation between right and wrong, good and bad vanished. They just want to experience because the mind is bankrupt. No awareness. So we have to bring this back. Bring this back. It's a very, I'll tell you, once you get used to Vedanta, you can't live without it. It is the philosophy of our inner being, of our strength, our power, our substance. And if there's no Vedanta, very sickly life, I'm telling you. No life. That's the truth. So you see, that's what he's saying in verse number 11. If you are interested, you can go into the Mandukya Upanishad and how they are describing Turiya. They finally, in Mandukya Karika, he'll say Turiya is not a fourth state, nor the underlying reality of three states. It is you. All the time you are Turiya only. You appear as the waker, dreamer and deep sleeper. What a tremendous insight. Starting with the analysis of your own experience, they have discovered the truth about you. And then how they put it, there's an Upanishad called Muktika Upanishad. It's all praise for Mandukya Upanishad. It says that Mandukya alone is all sufficient for liberation. Mandukya ekam eva alam vimuktanam muktaye. To liberate the awakened mind, Mandukya alone is enough. The analysis of the three states. Because they are only analyzing the deepest levels of our being, nothing else. See, they don't pay much attention to analyzing your persona. Western psychology does a lot of that. Have you seen? To analyze what you're thinking, to analyze the dream, what you have been dreaming. They don't do all that at all. They are only analyzing the waker, dreamer and deep sleeper. Why they don't analyze your mind? It is not you anyway. And the way you condition it, it will work like that. What's the point in analyzing every aspect of your mind? So that kind of psychology didn't develop in India. Actual consciousness studies developed in India. This is the glory of the Upanishad. Today we are trying to show this, how this consciousness relates to mind activity, mind management, and what they call mind sciences. And this is the deepest possible psychology. It's called contemplative psychology today. In that book, Self-Discovery, we have analyzed all these research methods, qualitative, quantitative, and contemplative. And Vedanta contributes to this contemplative psychology. The still mind, the fully aware mind. You study that if you want to study. Why study the silly mind? See, if you now study the mind of a Hitler, how nice, what kind of feeling it will give you? Tell me. Or the mind of a psychopath. It will depress you. So psychology should also study the mind of a Vivekananda, of a Buddha. Isn't it? Why should you only study Hitler? So that is why contemplative psychology has come out. And positive psychology. Study the healthy mind. Study the fully aware mind. See the connection between awareness and mind. And don't study the content of a psychopath. There's no need of doing that. Otherwise, you will come to all kinds of strange theories, I'm telling you. You know, the discovery of the unconscious by Freud was a big jerk for everyone. Because it's supposed to be a dark hole full of all kinds of negative things, and all of us have it. And this is a frightful thing to read even. That is not your real nature. Mind is not your real nature. Atman is your real nature. Brahman is your real nature. Awareness is your real nature. Why dig into something you are not? No, that's the stand of Upanishad. So then go to the next verse now. The 12th one. Vijnana virati suptis tad janma swapna jagarau tat sakshinaha katham me syu nitya jnanasya te trayaha. The cessation of cognition in is deep sleep. Its birth is the dream and waking states. Its birth is the dream and waking states. How can these three states belong to me who am their witness eternally aware? See? Look at the pointed observations. The cessation of cognition is what you're calling deep sleep. And its birth is the dream and waking states. The birth of cognition. How can these three states belong to me who am their witness? So do they belong to us? Tell me. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. We say, no, my dream, my experiences of waking state. Do they actually belong to us? Because I am always a witness of all three in my real nature. So actually they don't belong to me. Yes, any experience, it can belong to your mind. It can't belong to you. As our minds are conditioned, so experiences blossom out in our lives. But I myself am always the witness consciousness. You know how it exactly works? At the heart of your being is pure consciousness, what is called the Atman. When you have a mind, it reflects, some of that light of awareness reflects in the mind, and the mind appears conscious. So psychology knows only this much. When they say consciousness studies, they are studying the conscious mind. They are not studying the Atman. So when the mind appears conscious, it will make you think it is conscious by itself. Yes. See, if we didn't know the physical sciences, we would think the moon is so bright on Purnima. We would not know it is sunlight being reflected by the moon, and that's what is called moonlight. Something like that happens. The mind appears to be conscious, and we think it is conscious by itself, and we develop a whole branch of science to study. It's called mind sciences and life sciences, studying the conscious mind. In fact, even consciousness studies in the West pertains to studying conscious processes of thought, will, emotion. That's what they are calling consciousness studies. But what is the proof that this mind is not conscious by itself? What is the proof? You tell me now. What is the proof that consciousness is borrowed by the mind? It is not conscious by itself. The very fact that it suffers different states of aliveness, alertness, is proof that consciousness does not belong to mind. It is borrowed. See, when it's in a sattvic state, it will borrow more light because it can reflect that light better. In a rajasic state, it is very agitated, so less light is reflected. The tamasic state, it is so dense, no light is reflected. So when you are in a very tamasic state, you don't even want to think, just lazing out. That is how we spend our time, isn't it? So that itself means consciousness does not belong to mind. It belongs to something else. It was borrowed into the mind, depending on how much it could reflect. When this is the state, then what to speak of body? Mind renders the body also conscious. That's why we feel all my organs are conscious. Every cell has consciousness and memory. Yes? All this happens because of borrowed consciousness. And the same thing we project into the outer world. Same thing we project into the outer world. So this is the way consciousness, enlivens our experiences of the world, and we think, everything outside is conscious, but we are not seeing the source of conscious experience. God remains hidden in His creation, isn't it? God is always hidden. In our own heart, He remains hidden as consciousness, and we think we are the jiva. So why does God play with us like this? Why? See, this is the question which most people put. Why Maya? Why does God play with us like this? For the simple reason, see, if it's all play, you must also play and enjoy. If it was some real serious stuff, happening, then we really have to get very serious. Most people are only serious before their exams. Otherwise, it's all play. It is actually play. See, the light of consciousness reflected in the jiva, reflected in the mind, makes him think he's a solid identity. He's an individual. He's the jiva now. So he searches for experiences in the outer world. And he sees finally that this outer world does not satisfy and fulfill. And he starts searching for self-knowledge. This is all that is happening. So Brahman sort of play deludes himself and perceives an outer world, tries to experience it, gets deluded by it, and then understands that it won't fulfill, and then turns back to his real nature. So it's all a play of God. You are nowhere there. Don't worry. So don't take yourself so seriously. That's the point. Most people are suffering in life. They take themselves too seriously. The ego is not even an entity that exists. So your family, your problems, your afflictions, the pains and aches of the body, don't take them so seriously. Because वो है ही नहीं actually. Just take experience hai through which we are passing, so that we inquire after what is actually there. That much of wisdom should dawn in us after a certain age. If you invest all your time, energy and emotion only in the world, only in the things around you, then it will be a sheer waste of energy. The purpose of Shakti is to reach Shiva, you remember. The purpose of our vital energy, our thought process, our emotional energy is to reach pure consciousness. Don't compromise it on silly things. This is real Shakti Puja. If we do Durga Puja, 9 days I did Navratri, so much fasting and everything, but I messed up with my energy. Then no real puja has happened. Yes, Shakti Puja primarily means you know how to direct your vital energy towards the knowledge of Brahman. Take care of this. Mother will be very pleased because she lives in each one of us as this Pran Shakti. Yes, Mahashakti, a little bit of her is coursing in our veins as Pran Shakti. Why should we waste it? Take care of all these things, that's why. There's a talk on this Shakti Sadhana on YouTube. So that maybe you should watch that. The essential worship of God is the divinization of human life and serving others as manifest representatives of the same God. This is the real puja. And the puja that you are taught to do, it's only a representative function of this. Because actually speaking, God lives in all of us in these ways. So, raise your life towards the divine. Uddhared atmana atmanam na atmanam avasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhu atmaiva ripuratmana. This is the supreme message of Bhagavad Gita. Raise yourself by yourself. Don't demean yourself by giving into a mere sensory life. And because you are your greatest friend or your greatest enemy. So let's do some real puja. And you will get the prasad if you do real puja. Inner fulfillment, happiness, self-control, the sattvic life. This is the prasad. God is very pleased when you do the real puja, Because he says in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says this, have you heard these verses? Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhuta Shayasthitaha. I am the Atman in all beings. Yes, he says this. Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. An amsha of me is manifesting as Jiva in the outer world. So you see, all scriptures point to the same thing. They are telling us the same thing. Don't miss the essential point. In all our ceremonies and rituals and customs and all that, don't miss the essential message of Vedanta. Self-knowledge is the essential message. Aim at that alone. That is the real worship of God. Swaswarupa anusandhanam bhakti iti uchyate. Shankara says, Shankaracharya. Adi Shankara defines bhakti as swaswarupa anusandhanam, to search for your true being and to get the first person experience of that. That is bhakti. So with this we will end because only 4 we are doing every time. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.